Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2025 Lincoln Nautilus all-wheel drive vehicle in the Reserve 3 trim level. This vehicle sitting on 255/50 Michelin tires wrapped around 21-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Infinite Black Metallic. And it's pretty cool looking. The sun just is behind the clouds right now, but it is a nice looking black, very, very glossy. And when the sun's shining, you can see a little metallic in it as well. It looks really good with the style of this vehicle and the accents, especially here in the grille. So you have these little chrome pieces, and it has like this wave effect. So it's like waving in and out there on the grille with those little chrome pieces there, looking pretty cool. Now it has illuminated badge as well here in the front, and you got to check out my night video. We're gonna basically see how usable this vehicle is at night and all the cool features as well, ambient lights, all that stuff. So it basically has these chrome pieces down here as well, emphasizing the width here and here. The radar adaptive cruise control sensor is right in here. There's also parking sensors blended in. There's one there, one here, so they kind of blend in nicely, don't stand out. Now the headlights are a multi-projector headlight system, LED. It has LED turn signals, everything up here is LED. And once again, you got to check out my night video to see how they perform at night. We'll take it on some dark roads, we'll look at them, see how they perform and everything at night. Very important to check it out. Just under the emblem is a little camera right here. And there's actually 4 cameras. There's one here in the front, one in the back, and there's one on the underside of each side mirror. So it looks like a little GoPro lens right there. And this is for the 360 surround view camera system, which looks really good. And I'll show you that when we get on the inside. So looking at the profile here, everything's just about black except for you have little accents here and then the roof rails. Everything else is all blacked out. It's pretty cool looking. And then the wheels, of course, complete the look with the gloss black on them. And then you have that, polished aluminum, semi-polished aluminum kind of popping out there from the wheels. But yeah, it looks really good. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key system. And basically just basic Ford key, Lincoln, nothing really special. It does have a physical key on the inside, remote start, the ability to open up the power lift gate, lock and unlock, of course, but it's basically designed to just keep in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. So as you walk up, you'll notice that the handles are here. So I don't know if you can see, they kind of blend in with the black, but they kind of protrude there. You can see them a little bit different than a normal handle. And it's not like a physical handle. It has a little button in here, and that's what releases the door. You also have a combination here, and then you also have the unlock button and lock button here. So you can press that, and you can see all it does is just change the lock there. Press it again, nothing happens. Let's go ahead and press this button. Now it unlocks. So yeah, this is just for the lock, and this is for the unlock, that little button under here. There's also a physical key location under this little square right here. See that little square? You push in on that with the key, and there's actually a little physical key location there, just in case you need to use the physical key inside the key fob to open the door. And if this button doesn't work or whatever, you can do that. The doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle. There's a little seal right under here as well. So the intention is to keep this threshold relatively clean as you're driving, so you don't get your clothes dirty, get in and out of the vehicle, basically. Now the interior is really nice. It has like this really dark, kind of like a navy blue. Very impressive. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is nice. So it has the hard touch surfaces here, but the rest is a soft touch. This is like a vinyl type material here, and then here and here, and you have some contrast stitching as well, in white, gloss black. This also has like illuminated accent at nighttime. Can't see it there in the day, but right in here, some illuminated accents. Once again, check out the night video. Now it has the Revel sound system. You can see all these speakers and these speaker grills, all these aluminum laser cut speaker grills looking nice. It sounds pretty good. Depends on what you're playing and how you have it tuned. but it sounds good most of the time. There's a couple of times which I had to kind of play around with the settings to try to get it to sound good, depending on what you play, I suppose. But yeah, it looks really cool. Those speaker grills and everything. It says the Lincoln sill plate there and the threshold. And check out all these adjustments on the seats. Basically, these are for the thighs, individual thigh extensions here for left and right leg. And then you have the bottom, which you can go forward and back, tilt the back here. And then you have a four-way lumbar adjustment, but you also have these bolsters here on the bottom and the back adjustable too. So you can select what you want and and adjust the seat. It has a lot of adjustments, and I kind of had to play around with it for a while to get it reasonable for me. But yeah, all the different adjustments. Definitely, once you get it right, you want to save it as a preset because it's has a lot of adjustments. Pretty interesting looking seats. Has a lot of design here going on. It's not cushy seats. They're not very soft though. So that's where the adjustment is very important to get yourself aligned and everything, because you can't just plop in and rely on cushion to make you comfortable. There's the legroom here. A little bit of tapering going on here, but it has like over here it's not so bad. The driver's side is not all that great as far as feet room, which is interesting. There's a little pocket there that the driver and passenger can share. Now it has a hard, soft touch surface here. It's like a soft touch. And it's non-locking glove compartment here. And it's felt lined as well. Looking nice. And then there's like this little wood grain. I don't know if you can tell right in there. It's like a wood grain. And then this is all like a vinyl material right in here. And then here, this is like a non-reflective, rubbery soft semi-dash, because the actual screen is here, and then you have a secondary dash at the top. I guess this would be the primary. There's a secondary. You can decide what you want to say there, but yeah, that's a big screen. It's actually two screens that are connected together, and but yeah, they kind of work as one big screen pretty much. It also has a panoramic sunroof. We'll get to that shortly. So the height off the ground is great. It's very easy to just hop in the vehicle. There's lots of headroom. There's lots of room there in the front to get in and out. And so yes, it's just very easy to just get in and out. It's not, there's no obstructions there in the front. The back door is actually a little bit more room. It's interesting. There's much wider space here overall, more headroom, everything. The only thing I would say that the swing of the door doesn't come out enough. I mean, it could come out a little bit more is what I'm saying. Because there's so much room there though, it's not really a big deal. It's just so much room here. The inside of the door here, no skimping. I mean, they got the hard touch surface, but soft, and check out the speaker grills and everything here as well. But yeah, basically a very similar design as the front. There's the a little bit less fancy sill plate. The car seat attachments, they're underneath this cover. That's like Velcro, and you can get to them very easy. This cover doesn't come off completely, so you're not going to lose it or anything. And then you can easily access them. And then when you push it down, they're completely hidden, and it's soft as well. So that's a solution for accessing the latch system for car seats. Pretty interesting. Okay, so this armrest, it's very soft and cushy. Has cup holders, which you can stow away. And then you lift it up, stow the whole thing away if you want. Now the car seat attachments are only on the outer seats, not the inner portion. The back of the seats here are, you can see it has the mat pockets here. This is soft touch here. It also has USB-C ports here for charging on both seats there. There's heated seats back here, and you can see the heated seat controls there, climate control vents. Little tiny hump, almost a completely flat floor though. And lots of legroom. Even with that seat all the way back, we still have adequate legroom. We can also recline these seats slightly. So you can see this one's reclined, the other one's not. Slight difference. Looking at the back of the vehicle, there is a huge shark fin antenna up there in the center. And there's also a third brake light there in the top of the glass in the spoiler. But there's also a rear wiper in that spoiler, kind of hidden up in there, if you can see that. But it's up in there. But yeah, and it kind of swings down, and I like the way it's just out of the way. You don't see it until you need it, and it swings down. So if there's any kind of snow accumulation or anything like that, it helps push it off instead of trying to swing up and trying to lift it up and all that stuff. Now the backup camera is right here. It's integrated nicely. It's in the very center position. So yeah, that's nice. High position. It's a little bit, it's integrated. It's in the middle. I'm not going to complain. You know, since the vehicle is kind of high, it is in a fairly high position. Taillights, full LED, looking really sharp. And once again, check out the night video for all that to see how it looks. Parking sensors back here, they're integrated nicely into the bumper area. And then we have these, what kind of look like trying to go for like a fake exhaust tip. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments about these. The actual exhaust is fairly well hidden under there. But yeah, I'm not sure what they're going for with that. So opening up this power liftgate, we can of course use the key. I think you can kick it too, like kick your foot and stuff. I'm not doing that. But there is a button under here. It's kind of like right between the L and the N, right under here. It's a rubber button. And I like the way the button's off to the side and not trying to squeeze it in the middle next to the camera, because then they tend to move the camera offset, and then you're accidentally touching the camera and getting fingerprints on it. So having it over here in a designated separate spot, I really do appreciate. So under here is hard plastic, and it has a single light here. And then there's a single light there on the right side. So not looking too good for the night video. We'll see. Maybe they've achieved excellence with this light setup. Unlikely, but we'll see at nighttime. It's hard to tell during the day. So yeah, this cargo area is excellent. Lots of space back here. Even with the seats in place and you have passengers back there, you still have lots and lots of room. And you can see there's a single light. There's also a bag holder here, which you can flip up out of the way if you want. On the left side is a 12-volt power supply, another bag holder. You can see it kind of, space goes in there a little ways as well. Now there's these tie downs here, here in the back, but I don't see any there in the front. So that's kind of interesting. I guess these tie downs are for like a net pocket or something. There is a place to put a shade if you want to add that accessory. Now this floor is just kind of sitting here. So you just kind of lift it up. The whole thing just basically moves. It's not really secured or anything, just laying there like that. But underneath it is a full diameter spare tire. There's a jack. There's also a tool up there and a funnel and a strap for some reason. And then there's a cargo space around there. So you can put some extra stuff, tools or whatever. Subfloor space. But yeah, this floor is just kind of laying there, not secured by anything. But yeah, we can fold these seats down. It's a 60-40 split, so it's really easy to add a cargo space while still maintaining a passenger space. Let's say you have a car seat on one side or whatever, you can, just fold the other side down to add to your cargo. So you can do that by pressing this button. You can do it, of course, manually over there, but it has these buttons right here, so left and right. Let's go ahead and fold the right one down just by pressing that button. Kind of flops down. It's not completely flat. But it does give you the ability to, let's say you're putting a large box back here, it just won't quite fit, press the button, it flops down, and you can go ahead and push it in place. So yeah, once you fold the seats down, you can it has a huge opening here in the lift gate, and then wide space. You could put a huge refrigerator or something in here. It's pretty big. Lowering the power lift gate, you just press this button. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's not locking or anything. And it's a capless design. That's part of the reason why there's a funnel in the trunk, is in case you need to use a gas can, you'll need that funnel. But yeah, it's very easy to use it, and you don't have to touch it or anything like that. When you open up the door, it has this Nautilus thing going on here, like this image on this large screen. As long as the key's inside the vehicle, you just press and hold the brake and press this button to start it up. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now the floor mat snaps in place. And under here, this is important to me, and I think some people, this will be very important to. There's actually some space. There's a limited amount of space here. So the distance between the floor and up there, it may look big, but if you got like a size 12 or 13 shoe, there's not enough room to put my foot on this footrest over here. And then the brake pedal, right above that brake pedal, there's this plastic piece right here. And my foot gets caught on that trying to press the brake pedal. So there's not, like, literally there's not enough foot room up here. Like up here is stuff that's getting in the way of my feet trying to drive the vehicle. The accelerator is a little bit better. It's a little bit more open. But yeah, this is my biggest concern about this vehicle is that, you know, there's just not a, if you have larger feet, you know, like 12, 13, maybe even like 11s. I mean, it's very, very cramped. And I'm not sure what's going on with this. But anyways, definitely want to check it out and see if it's right for you. But yeah. Anyways, take a look under the hood. You pull it twice. And on the second pull, it'll completely release the hood. You notice that windshield has like an anti-glare coating on it. You can see it. It's very obvious. And you know, this could be for the sunlight or headlights or whatever, but pretty interesting. Now, like I said, we pull that lever twice. All we have to do now is lift the hood up. Now there's insulation under the hood. There's seals around the front and the back of this engine compartment. The firewall is also fully insulated. The suspension towers here are braced in. You see there's a brace that goes all the way to the other one, making it a solid front here. And check out that battery. It's huge, but it's easy to get to as well. So here's the 4-cylinder, and it's positioned, even though it's an all-wheel drive vehicle, it's positioned this way. So it's a position like a front-wheel drive, but it's actually an all-wheel drive. And the transmission is located down here, but you can actually see it on this vehicle. Interesting. Pretty good amount of room under the hood. Most everything looks like it's easy to get to, or easier to get to than other vehicles. This vehicle is powered by a 4-cylinder, a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine that puts out 250 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque, and it's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And it is an all-wheel drive system as well. Now it does have the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert. The indicator is here on the side mirror. It's also auto-dim side mirror as well. Now the driver's door is basically just like the passenger side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have 3 presets here for the driver's seat. Like I said, it's a lot of adjustments, so you will definitely want to set your seat when you get it finished. And then the power window switches are here, and they're one touch up and down. And it's a laminated glass. Back glass, it's one touch down. It's not laminated though. That's as far down as it goes. It's also one touch up. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust with that little pad. You can power fold them as well, and then you have the child safety locks there. So the driver's seat has all the adjustments, just like the passenger. So yeah, the thigh extension, all that stuff, 4-way lumbar adjustments, the bolsters there on the side, both here and here are adjustable. But yeah, they look good. They just need to be adjusted. A lot of adjustments, so it's very easy to get an uncomfortable position just because there's so many different adjustments. To the left of the steering column, you have the ability to open up the power liftgate, dimmer switch for the interior gauges. So there's increase, decrease, and then there's the headlight switch. There's a little toggle there, has off, parking, automatic, and headlights on. And then there's a 4-way tilt telescoping power steering column. When you adjust the seat, it shows here on the screen what you're doing. It also has a massage function. In the very center of the lumbar adjustment, there's a circular button. And you can choose what you want here, different ones. And it's pretty cool. Definitely gonna need that. So we'll try that while I'm doing the video. But yeah, I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down. and to show you the potential legroom here. Now, I can drive with the seat all the way back. So if you're a little bit over 6 feet tall, you'd probably be okay, but you just definitely want to take it for a test drive. The main thing though, for me, which I mentioned this, and I just want to show it to you, there is my foot, okay? And it stops right there. So I can't, like it's not on, like I can't put my whole foot on it. I have to like turn it sideways to put it on there. Because you can see at the top, there's something getting in the way of my foot. So it gets jammed up. Same thing with here, with this foot right here. Like right here, like right there, there's something right there. So literally I can wedge my foot between the floor and that before I'm like trying to get to the brake pedal. Also over here at the accelerator, there's like no room. There's like a half an inch above my foot. So as I lift my foot up, instant stop, instant stop. So yeah, the feet room is a big deal. Like I don't understand how you would design it this way, you know? I'm not sure why they do that. There's just, I can't have the largest feet in the world, okay? If you're size 12 or 13, you're gonna have a big issue. If you're size, 9 or 10, then you'll probably be fine. But still, even then, having around the accelerator and brake pedal, having those limitations in your legroom, to me, that's a big deal, you know? So, anyways, I'll leave it at that. Steering wheel, I do like this steering wheel. It's soft, it looks good, it's very easy to turn. It's the electronic power steering, which is great. The turning radius is awesome. You can quickly just spin it around, and it looks good, it feels good. So you notice there's no markings here on the steering wheel, except for this one. And when you put your finger on the pad though, it pops up on the screen. And so as I put my finger on different buttons, it shows me what I'll put my finger on, right? And the same thing with this right side. It's nothing there. As soon as I put my finger on the pad, it pops up and shows me what I'm pressing or could potentially press. And it changes though. It's not consistent. Like it changes depending on what you're doing. So right now there's no track change buttons, but there is volume buttons. So yeah, I mean, I suppose it's intended to use these pads for more than just individual set buttons. The only thing is, it's just like you have to, pay attention to the screen and pressing buttons and all that stuff, and putting your finger and sliding it around. Now, the good thing about this is that I've experienced a similar type of thing in the Lexus vehicle. But the Lexus vehicle, this one's better, because the Lexus vehicle, you have to put your finger on there, let it pop up, then make the selection. This one, if you know what that button is, you can just go ahead and press it. You don't have to wait for it to pop up. It'll just instantly do it. It'll recognize it. The Lexus, you have to press your finger on there, it pops up first, then you can make the selection. If you just press the button, nothing will happen without it popping up. So yeah, this is a better system in my opinion. It's a little bit non-traditional, something that you can decide if it's right for you or not. Right in here is a camera system with illuminators, IR illuminators, and it's able to see your face at night, see through sunglasses, and make sure you're paying attention to the road. Now, even if you're paying attention to the road, it gives you warning. So it's a system that has to be refined. There's the windshield wiper controls for the front and rear. Turn signals over here, and the headlight dimmer switch as well. And so looking at the screen, so you have a screen here, and here's the dividing line right here. And then you have another screen over there. So it's actually two screens with a divider in the middle. And then, so this one here, you can see it has the digital speedometer, what the last speed limit sign you passed said, your fuel gauge over here, your distance to empty. There's a navigation map that kind of blends in. I like the way it has this cool picture background. Shows you what gear you're in, engine coolant temperature here, outside temperature, your odometer, which direction the vehicle's facing, east right now. It's a digital compass. And as you drive, there's like this little bar that moves, and as like an indicator of your RPMs, I guess like a somewhat of a tachometer representation. And it also shows the status of the BlueCruise and the lane keep assist system. Now the BlueCruise basically a hands-off system. As you're driving, you can take your hands off the steering wheel and then hold the lane for you. It's not a self-driving feature, but it will hold the lane for you on certain roads, like highways and stuff like that. On the back roads, it has a hands-on system and it works okay, and I'll explain some issues with it as we go drive. Here on the right side, you can see it has a digital clock there in the middle, whatever your radio's doing, and then on the far right side is the what's going on with the weather. So yeah, if you're sitting here, there's a lot to look at. And we'll get to this more in a second. But down here is this other screen. Now this is a touch screen, and this is what you interact with. And it looks a little bit, I don't know, it looks a little bit different than the other screens. But it has this home button, which we're in now, and it has a split between the navigation map, and then your audio, your phone, that kind of stuff. The next one will be information about the vehicle. You have different drive modes here. Normal, conservative was like eco mode, excite, which is like a sport mode, slippery, and then you have deep conditions, so like deep snow or something like that, deep water or something like that. All right, let's go back out of here. There's this. You have the ambient lighting, which we'll go over in the night video. And you can see right here, it's dark enough now because it's so cloudy right now. You can see it's set to green, and it's in the floorboard. It's here on the doors. So it's pretty cool. And we'll go through all that stuff in the night video, which is a separate video. You have the seat accents. You also have a digital, they call it a digital scent. So you can press that button, and then you have Violet Cashmere, Ozonic Azure, and Mystic Forest. So you press that button, and then it releases a scent. And the scent comes from the armrest right here. It's kind of cool. Right here, this little places for air to come out, and the little scent packets, which you have to replace them when they run out. Here's the 3 different scent packets here. But yeah, you can smell it. It smells pretty good. It's pretty strong, actually. Let's go ahead and turn that off. All right. You have vehicle status, valet mode. You go in your settings and stuff like that as well. Sound, Bluetooth, driver assistance, vehicle system, profile, display, all that stuff. Let's go on display. You have a touchscreen beep. We're going to turn that off. And then you have a theme. You can change the theme up here. All right, so before we saw that theme, that's the Inspire. This is the Engage theme. Pretty cool. This is the Tranquil theme. Kind of like Starry Night, I suppose. Kind of cool. And then you have the Constellation. That sounds neat. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, these different themes you can adjust here on the screen. There's a lot of different options here. You also have a comm screen, which just gives you that, which is sometimes handy because if you need the date or something, that would be good. But yeah, you can turn off the traction control in here. You have drive modes, ambient light, auto hold feature is controlled here as well. You have this button to go into your different apps like AM, FM apps, satellite radio. You have the Play Store, so there's a Google-based system, Google Maps and all that stuff. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Amazon Alexa. You have news. You actually have YouTube on here as well. And you have over-the-air updates as well, too. Let's just pull up YouTube to see what it looks like. All right. Let's search. All right, let's try that again. I'm not seeing what I'm... Let's go back. All right. Here we go. Got to see what my channel looks like. There we go. Wow, it's got some old videos on there. All right, so go to videos. This is pretty responsive. Pretty responsive. Let's play a video and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, gotta love the night videos. At least watch the intro because I do make it you get a good overview of the vehicle in the intro. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, at least you get to get an idea of what's going on with it. But that's an example of a night video here. But yeah, all right, cool. Let's go back out of that. So it has full YouTube capabilities and it looks good and it plays well. It's not choppy or anything. All right, so this last one right here, you're gonna press that and it gives you some options over on this screen. So we had the Bluetooth, the time, and then the climate over there. And we can change things. Let's say we want fuel economy, tire pressure, trip 1 or trip 2. So let's say we want to, or we can rearrange these. So let's say we want the time to be over here, we could do that. So now the time's over there. I can move it back where it was. I can move there. Let's go ahead and put fuel economy up here. So now we have fuel economy up there. And then let's say we're not getting very good fuel economy and we want to hide that. Then we can bring that down out of the way and just have nothing there if we want. But let's go ahead and put the media back there. So yeah, so we can kind of customize that screen with those big tiles over there, kind of like, I guess, widgets or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Very easy to use. This system is very easy. You have this quick access to display settings. You can go into your theme selections and all that stuff. So this is all, you know, redundant ways of getting to the same places. You also have the climate control here. So when you hit this button, it pops up and it gives you visual references. Now, what's interesting about it is that you have the vents here, but they don't have any ability to move the vents with your hand. What you have to do is you make selections here on the screen. So if you want on body, off body, you have motion, or you can close them here. So when I originally got in the vehicle, they were blowing on me, so I chose off body. So they did a good job of not blowing on me. If you want it to kind of oscillate, have some motion, you can have that as well. You can also go here for the passenger side. Basically the same principle. So let's go to off body on the passenger. And it kind of gives you a visual reference there as well. Of course, you have where you want the air to blow. You can link the driver and passenger temperatures there, which are located here. You also have the heated and cooled seat for the passenger and then the driver. On the driver, you have the heated steering wheel as well, so it's just on or off the steering wheel. Then you have an automatic function, but it has 3 different settings. So you have a low, medium, high, automatic, or you can manually control the fan here. All right, so below that is the shifter. So it's just a push button shifter. And so right now we're in park. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. And when we put it in reverse, the parking sensors will be active. You also have the camera, the surround view camera, 360 camera system, plus right now the rear view with the active guidelines as well. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the lines move, so they're active. And it has a center line as well. And so yeah, we have that top-down view, we have the rear view, and then we can have this different views here. So let's say we hit this button. This gives us a super wide rear view. And then it takes away the 360 view, but it gives us that super wide rear view because it actually looks both ways behind the vehicle, not just, you know, directly. It's actually a super wide view. You also have a more linear view like that, and then you can press this button, and then it brings that back up, the top-down view. Now it has this feature over here. You hit that plus, and it just kind of zooms in to a specific spot on the 360 camera system. So you're still getting the view, it's just kind of zooming in for you. Shows the tire tracks and stuff too on the back there. Pretty cool. But yeah, it looks really good. The clarity, the resolution, the size is big enough because it's kind of far away, you know, so it has that large size, you can see it good enough. So yeah, I was pretty impressed with it actually. All right, so there's neutral, drive, and then you have a low range. So if you need to have engine braking, go down a hill or something like that, you can put it in low range. And when you're in drive, you can go ahead and press this button, which is another way to access the camera. But this time it gives us the front view instead of the rear view. So yeah, front view instead of the rear view, and then of course we have still the top down. So we can still see the camera. We don't even have to have it in gear. Let's put it in park and then press the camera button. And once again, we have this view. So yeah, it's very handy having access to that camera anytime really. This is the volume knob. It has like a crystal looking knob. It looks pretty cool. You can turn off the stop start feature here. 4-way flashes are here. It has the automatic parking mode, so it kind of helps you park the vehicle if you want to use that kind of thing. Front defroster is there, so another redundant button for ease of access. Then this is right here is another shortcut, another redundant button for your drive modes. So you can access, so you just press it, you just keep pressing it. You can press it on, press it off, basically. And once it's on, you can make the selection that you want. Now it has this wireless charger here. This felt line on this side, rubbery on the other. You can take this little thing out, clean it, put it back in. So it's all good, right? My phone doesn't fit. Matter of fact, when I got it, it doesn't go all the way down in there. Matter of fact, when I did kind of force it in there, so it'll charge, it did start charging, but then it took me forever to get it back out. It kind of got wedged in there, because under here it's kind of sharp on these edges, and it kind of got wedged in there, and it was just a pain to get out. So I'm not going to push it all the way back in again, because I don't want it to get stuck again. So if you have a large phone like this, especially with a big case, it may be a little bit of an issue. So yeah, you want to test it out when you test drive the vehicle. So there's a cup holders, you have a little storage area there, you have USB ports, USB-A and USB-C here as well. I like the way it has that light. It has this kind of like a roll top desk here. Looking pretty cool. It's kind of rubbery, so there's nothing rattling here. It's very tight. Feels good. Alright, so this armrest is not soft. I mean, it is like almost as hard as like a tire. It's like a rubber surface under there. It's not like a pillow. So yeah, it's a little bit uncomfortable, and it, you know, anyways, it's not all that great. It does have a property line there, and it might be big enough to share with your passenger, so you can keep their arm on their side, I suppose. And that's where the scent system is in this. This is why it's a little bit thick. Here's a little quick access tray here, felt lined. You take that out of the way, and there's a light, completely felt lined compartment. There's my business cards in the way. It does have this little place right here, put the key, and then there's a 12-volt power supply, and then 2 USB-C ports there. Now, you'll notice that there is some space right here to put a wire in and out of this compartment, right here. Right there in the front center. But you'll notice that the 12-volt power supply is in here. And let's say you want to use a radar detector, right? How is this useful, right? It's kind of like they just checked a box saying, okay, well, we're going to have a 12-volt power supply here in the front. Well, let's just put it there, you know? It's not really thought out. So yeah, it's something to think about. If you need to use that for something like a radar detector, which goes on the dash typically or in the windshield somewhere, then that's not really that useful. So it's useful for some things, but depending on your needs, it could be useful or not. Auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor, which is located here on this right side on the back. And we have these little lights right here. Now you notice these lights right here. It's actually dark enough so you can see them. Those, I'll show those in the night video. Well, these kind of provide this moonlight in this area here. Helps out a lot at nighttime. But you also have these lights here. So quick reading light here, here. You can also turn on all the interior lights with that button. So yeah, that's all good. Now it has the sunroof controls, the shade and then the vent. We'll get to that in a second. Now also, if you want the interior lights to turn on with the door, you can have this button turn on or not. So depending on what you want. So we open up the door. Right now they're off. And if we press the button again, so now they're on. So for now I shut the door, they turn off. So that's the button. If you let's say you got a kid sleeping, you don't want to have the interior lights turn on when you open the door, you can quickly turn that off, and you see it turns like an amber color when it's off. Sunglasses go here, and it has like a kind of rubbery material there on the inside. Now the visor is a cloth. It looks like a gray or a beige. It's hard to tell right now, it's low light. But it is a cloth just like the headliner. Has a clip here, a mirror with lights, actually really nice lights. Not overly bright, nice soft light. They also extend out like this and get very good coverage. There's a clip on the other side and the HomeLink garage door opener control here as well. So yeah, here's the garage door opener control that's easy to get to. Sunroof, panoramic sunroof basically. So you have the fixed rear glass and then this one moves and then a power shade. Let's go ahead and vent it up. Or actually I pushed it back, so now we're going back. It goes over the rear glass. And let's press it again. It does go back a little bit further when you press it again. All right, let's move it forward. So now we'll vent it. All right, let's press forward again. And now we can vent it. Press forward again to make it go down. And then the power shade is on the right side here. And it's the type of shade that covers 100% of the light. So yeah, it's like you have to press it twice to get it go all the way forward. But yeah, covers 100% of the light, it's just a cloth. But some vehicles just have like a translucent one, it doesn't cover all the light. This one it covers all the light. Looking at the visibility here in the back, it's actually pretty darn good. You have a pillar back there, but man, you know, all those windows, all the glass, I mean, I can see good. Now, of course, it depends on how many, you know, passengers you have and stuff like that, but yeah, as far as just over the shoulder visibility, it's great all around. Front, back, side, everything, you know, especially for this type of vehicle. And of course, the technology, the camera system, parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot detection system, all that stuff helps you drive the vehicle even more safe. So yeah, it's fine as far as visibility, not really an issue. Man, that turn signal is a little obnoxious sounding. Engine sounds good. Decent acceleration. I mean, it's not a fast vehicle. Let's see if I can kind of slow down here and re-accelerate. Nobody behind me. Yeah, it feels solid. It doesn't feel, I mean, it's not like super fast, but it gets up to speed fine. Shifts really good. So yeah, I was pretty impressed. Usually when you accelerate, you know, putting it to the floor, it just kind of blows past its RPM range where it's effective, and then it feels kind of weak or sluggish or just not impressive. This one's good. This one feels solid. And the ride quality, as far as like the suspension and everything, it feels pretty smooth. You know, one of the things filming in vehicles, if you have a bumpy ride, then it's hard to get smooth footage, right? So this one is really nice. I'm really impressed with the ride quality. And I like this steering wheel fairly well. I like the way it's squared off here, so I have better visibility. You know, it obstructs a little bit on the screen, but they designed it to where there's nothing down there anyway, which is nice. And it's kind of a different experience looking way over there sometimes, looking at stuff. But, you know, it's nothing really important. I mean, the clock is over there, so I'm kind of like glancing over there sometimes. But it's just kind of interesting that you have this huge screen in front of you. It's a little bit different. Hear a little bit of road noise, a little bit of wind noise, like just very subtle, you know. Just a little bit of outside noises. It's not like overly loud or anything. And it's no problem having a conversation with somebody inside the vehicle just without hollering. So yeah, that's all good. The sound system is okay. I mean, it depends on what you play, and also it depends on how you have it set. You know, I had some issues with some of the songs that I was playing. It had it's kind of like a droning noise, or you know, like a muffled sound. So I think it depends on what you play and how you have it set. So it was a little bit, I'm not sure exactly what I was experiencing there, but But yeah, it might just be something unique to this vehicle, or it could just be something going on with my phone or something, playing through the Bluetooth. But, you know, it's okay. I mean, it's fine, but, you know, there's a little bit of a different experience. Speaking of a different experience, these little things right here, seems like they've copied this from Lexus, where you have nothing on the buttons, but you have, when you put your fingers on it, it pops up here on the screen. And then as you press buttons, it might change what these do as you press buttons, you know. So as I turn on the cruise control, then all of a sudden there's more buttons here. And so yeah, it's, go ahead and hit resume here. But yeah, I don't really care for that. I mean, it's okay. On this vehicle, it's actually not too bad. It's not as much multiple steps as, say, the Lexus. This one's more linear. Like, you can go ahead and just press the button like that, and it registers what you want, versus you have to have the screen pop up first. You don't have to wait. You can just, if you know what the button does, you can just go ahead and press it, and it'll go ahead and do it. Lexus, you have to press your finger on there, let it pop up, and then you press the button. Otherwise, it won't recognize it. So as far as that system, definitely works better than the Lexus in my experience anyway, unless they change something over on the Lexus side. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. We have the blend, had the background images, we had the map going on, radio, clock, and then you have the weather and stuff going on way over there. And yeah, I guess it's kind of neat. I hadn't really had any issues with transferring my focus from these screens to the road, so it's a good distance away. Also, sun glare hasn't really been an issue, which I was kind of surprised. Which has been off and on cloudy, but still, hasn't really been an issue as I thought it was going to be, because, you know, there's no cover over these screens. So apparently they're bright enough and they have enough, you know, they're designed to handle the sunlight apparently. This little screen down here just seems a little bit out of place when you have all these other screens. I know you interact with this, but it doesn't have the same look and quality. It just kind of looks like this is the old screen, those are the new screens, something like that. I don't know, there's something about the screen that just looks a little bit tacked on. It doesn't have the same, you know, experience. I don't know, it just doesn't look as nice and as refined as those screens. Those look really good. Yeah, my biggest problem with this vehicle is somewhat as the seat comfort. Part of that is there's so many different ways you can adjust it to where it's hard to get adjusted right for me, or at least it was, you know, for me. It's still kind of like, I don't know, there's too many adjustments, and the seat seems a little bit too small for me. The overall vehicle seems a little bit too, like the seat and the floorboard seems too small for me. It's actually not legroom, it's feet room. It's kind of interesting. You know, I haven't really experienced this too many times, especially to this degree, to where my foot does not even fit on the footrest here to the left, and it barely fits over there with the accelerator and brake. There's like stuff in the way, like where my feet are. So yeah, that's not good. Like there's literally, when I try to put the brake, there's actually like something right above it. And, you know, I kind of like bump my foot on something before I hit the brake, and it's kind of getting in the way. So, yeah, that's like the biggest negative to me is the feet room, which is like the oddest thing in the world. Feet room, that's what the problem is? How can that be? But that's what it seems like. I've never experienced that to this. I mean, really, I haven't really experienced it like this. Very, very odd. So if you have like size 13 feet, you know, size 12, I mean, really, like, unless you're size 10 or less in men's, then you're probably going to have a little bit of an issue with this. It's very odd. Other than that, the overall driving dynamics of the vehicle is very good. The ride quality, the handling, the acceleration, braking, visibility, and I like the way, you know, you can see the hood. You know, the screens and stuff are not obstructing anything there in the front, and pillars narrow. There's no problems with visibility. So yeah, even though we have all these screens in a non-traditional dash, they don't basically go overboard to where it's like messing up your visibility here in the front like other vehicles. You know, maybe Toyota, something like that. But yeah, I really like it. It's just there's like the deal killer is the you know, me being able to put my feet. Now basically the more comfortable position is when I put my leg like this instead of down on the footrest. The footrest is almost unusable to me, really. It really is uncomfortable. So really my only comfortable position is here, and luckily this floor is flat right there, so I can kind of get in position here. Now the lane keep assist system works really good on highways, but on back roads, you know, kind of tends to wander a little bit, and it doesn't have a grip sensor. It only has a torque sensor, and that's another issue. So as you're driving, you can have both hands on the steering wheel. Okay, I'm gonna have both hands on the steering wheel, and we'll see how long before, if I'm not turning it, I just have my hands here. Keep hands on the steering wheel, and as you can see, my hands are on the steering wheel. All right, so I have to jiggle it, right? I have to jiggle it. Otherwise, it doesn't know, because it relies only on a torque sensor, not a grip sensor. The vehicles with a grip sensor, you literally just barely put your hands on the steering wheel and it senses them, right? So this one is, and you know, other people have mentioned this to me as well, that as you're driving, it's constantly bugging you to keep your hands on the steering wheel, you know? So even though your hands are on the steering wheel, so it's a little bit of an issue at times, especially on on a really straight road or something like that on a highway. You don't have to really turn that much. You just kind of you're just holding the wheel, and it doesn't, since you're not turning the wheel, then it, you know, gives you those warnings, and yeah, a little bit of a problem. It also has this little camera system right here, which watches your face, and for whatever reason, you know, you're holding the steering wheel like this, right, or whatever. If the camera can't see your face and your eyes, then it's going to flip out and start and give you like a warning and everything. So let me cover it up and see how long before it flips out. Watch the road, see? So that's another thing that pops up. Not resume control. I'm holding the steering wheel. So yeah, it's another nanny feature that is not without its issues. You know, it's not a like, it doesn't work properly. Same thing with the steering. You know, there's certain features that it has that doesn't work properly. It's not super refined, so it's going to get in the way. It's going to be a roadblock as far as you trying to enjoy the vehicle and just driving the vehicle. It's going to be it's going to impede your ability to use the vehicle without frustration. You know, it's like, you know, and it's not uncommon, you know, like, it's not just this brand. There's lots of brands that have these features that they're implementing that are not refined. It's like the torque sensor. For one thing about the torque sensor on the lane keep assist system is that it's not super sensitive. Like, there's other vehicles that have a super sensitive torque sensor. So even though your hands are not turning that much, it can sense just the slightest pressure on the steering wheel, and then it doesn't bug you as much, right? Even though it doesn't have a grip sensor. Grip sensor is best, right? That's the best. But if you're gonna rely solely on a grip sensor to where it's going to bug you, or it's gonna beep at you if it doesn't you know, think your hands are on the steering wheel, then you need to have it more sensitive. But yeah, so a little bit of corner cutting on the grip sensor, number one. Second is the torque sensor isn't that super sensitive, so I'm constantly having to jiggle the steering wheel, or whatever. You know, like, there's times in which on this road it's not really a big deal because I'm constantly turning because the road isn't straight. It's those, you know, straight highway runs that become just a hassle, you know. And you know, that's the times which you pay for a feature and then you might as well just turn it off because it's driving you nuts. So yeah, and like this little camera system, there's lots of times for some reason. I mean, it's not like you know, looking at the floorboard or anything. I'm looking at the road and I'm driving, and for whatever reason, my hand's in the way or something, then it's like beeping at me, telling me to watch the road when I'm watching the road, you know. And then, you know, I make sure my arms are not obstructing the camera, and then as you saw, it still kind of like accelerates the warning, even though I'm looking at the road, my hands are on the steering wheel, and it's like, I don't know, it's just a little bit not fun, especially when you're in the vehicle with other people, right? And you're trying to have a conversation and you're constantly interrupted. You know, technology, especially a vehicle, is supposed to be an extension of you, right? It's supposed to amplify your capabilities, but also your enjoyment. You know, it shouldn't get in the way. It should be the background, you know, and facilitate your needs, and not try to interject and facilitate its needs, you know. So yeah, those are a couple things that could be improved for sure. But overall, I mean, if I had smaller feet, I guess, had like you know, smaller feet, and I had it was able to nail the comfort on the seat, which I haven't really been able to do. I've been playing around with it for days now, trying to get the seat comfortable. It's okay right now. I got it to where it's tolerable, but at least it's not uncomfortable right now. But it's not a soft seat. It looks good. It's just not a soft seat. I mean, I think all these adjustments in there, has all these motors and you know, pivot points and all this stuff. I guess there's not enough room in there for cushion, you know. So it's like you have to kind of, it's not soft, so you have to just kind of position it right. Otherwise, you have all these pressure points. But yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it is an interesting vehicle, and it's kind of exciting to see something quite a bit different. But then it has some, you know, things that has to be discussed. I can't like show you this vehicle without mentioning certain things that just stand out blaringly obvious. Like, who test drove? Like when they designed it, like, was it really, really small people that's the only people that drove it? Is there anybody with 12 or 13 size shoe that got in it and drove it and like, hey, we need to do something about this feet room? I can't believe I'm saying that. It's like feet room. That's the issue. In 2025 model, there's a vehicle that doesn't have enough room for a foot. Very, very strange. Or something getting in the way where it's right above the brake pedal. And so yeah, it's kind of like get my foot wedged between the floor and the whatever that bump is up there, trying to get to the brake pedal, which is not good. I mean, that's, you know, I want to be able to get to that brake pedal if I need to very fast. And if there's an issue with that, that's not good. So things to consider. But yeah, you know, I mean, I would say take one for a test drive because it is different and it is unique. It has some pretty cool features. And it is comfortable as far as the ride quality and everything. And if you're comfortable in this seat, you're able to have enough, you know, your feet aren't too big and stuff like that, then I think a lot of people would actually like this vehicle. You know, there's just certain things that, you know, maybe they'll, you know, change with a software update or something where, you know, I don't know, the steering assist system, the warnings with the camera and all that stuff, maybe they're able to tone that down a little bit. But yeah, interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, like what direction are they going? Is this a vehicle designed for like women and that's it? And that would make sense because women are typically smaller, so they have smaller feet, and you know, they don't weigh as much, so maybe they don't need as much cushioning in the seat or something. And so yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, that would probably make sense if you're, you know, just kind of like designing the vehicle for a certain demographic or something like that. But yeah, trying to figure it out why it would leave, you know, like it would be designed in a way to where it's very, very limited on who can drive it comfortably and all that stuff.